All people care about is that you are having a good time and that you're comfortable and that they feel comfortable being in your company. The
Right.
moment you start cowering in the corner or retreating from social situations or apologizing for not drinking or feeling embarrassed about not drinking is the moment they're going to encourage you to drink, because nobody
100%.
wants a Debbie Downer. Now,
Right.
has AA helped millions of people over many years? Yes, it has. And if AA works for you, then do AA and double down and don't leave, and that's great. I
Right.
am all for anything that works. However, for 93 people, 93 out of 100 people who attempt AA, it will not work. You'll have to surrender to a higher power. You'll have to do a 12-step system. It's super, super religious, and if you're not, that religious, that you might find that a little bit confronting. You have to admit that you're an alcoholic, and chances are you're not an alcoholic. You just drink too much. This term alcoholic gets branded about and thrown about just willy-nilly, just so loosely. Chances are most of your listeners who are listening now or watching now are not alcoholics. They just don't have a very healthy relationship with alcohol at the moment. And
Right.
that can be changed with some simple coaching, some accountability, getting in a fun group. You don't need to drive to a dark, depressing AA meeting where you don't relate to a lot of the people there. And you
Right.
don't have to feel compelled to say, I'm an alcoholic. And if you don't say that, feel like you're cheating the system somehow, or you're not being honest with yourself. So again, this is literally, I say this and cue haters, because AA people will come out and accuse me of being hostile towards AA. I'm not hostile towards AA. I am in support of anything that helps people. Statistically speaking, it's completely and utterly ineffective for most people.
Right.
So I would just, it's not even what I believe, it's what the data shows.
So that is
Yeah,
it.
I mean, if you just Google AA actual success rate, you'll see some studies there that actually reveal that 7% number. There's some articles there. It's called the name of this article is written in the Atlantic. It's called "The Surprising Failures of 12 Steps." Peer-reviewed studies peg the success rate of AA somewhere between 5 and 10%. So, one in every 15 people it works for, but 14 out of 15 it doesn't.
Right.
I mean, if you were going to the horse races, bet on the Kentucky Derby, I mean, would you really put all of your money on a something that you've got a 7% success rate in, or would you
For
rather bet
sure.
on something that gives you a 92% success rate?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm curious your thoughts then. Like, I know with the 12 step, I believe step 12 is to be of service. And apparently, just from things that I've read, you can do all 11 steps, but if you don't know how to implement number 12, there's a likelihood that you're going to relapse. I'm curious your thoughts on that, and where you like, and I'm sure you've seen it maybe in your community where people are just compelled to want to share that with others in their life and maybe be of service to others. Let's have a chat around that and your thoughts around that.
Well, I don't invite any of my clients to go out and get on their high horse and be all pompous and start
Right.
preaching to people that AA or sorry, that being alcohol free is the way to go. I just say, let your actions do the talking, which is be happy, politely decline invitations to drink alcohol, just be
Yeah.
friendly and nice. And if someone asks you about not drinking, then share, but don't try to convince or persuade them
Mm-hmm.
to not drink. Just
Yep.
shut up, quite frankly. Right? If someone asks, then share your experience, but
For
never
sure.
say, "Oh, you should quit drinking too. You should
Yep.
do it." Should is the worst word. So a lot of times people go to something like AA, and then afterwards they're like, "Oh my God, my life's transformed," and then they start trying to point out to other people where their life could do with some polishing or some improvements.
Yep.
And maybe they mean well,
For
but it
sure.
doesn't. But it doesn't. The reaction or the response is not always welcome, is it? So, to answer your question, my view is you will do your best inspiration and your best work at persuading people to have a healthier relationship with alcohol by not trying to persuade them to have a healthier relationship with alcohol.
Right.
Just be happy and
Yep.
healthy and smiley. And if people ask you about why you're not drinking, just share with them
Yep.
confidently,
Yep.
but don't try to
Absolutely.
persuade them. That's it.
I can totally relate to that just being a health coach, for over 15 years, especially when I first graduated from school, being on my high horse, like everybody has to eat this way and you have to, ditch these toxins. You got to live this lifestyle, like just being on my high horse. And then, especially with my family, you're so close to your family, just like seeing what they're eating and just like constantly being on them. And then finally just being like, I'm just going to shut up. Like, unless someone asks me for my input, I'll share it. But otherwise, I just need to like be it.
Right.
And it will naturally, they will naturally ask questions and inquire. And if not, that's fine too.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a big lesson for me to learn for sure. So you mentioned, if people ask. So this makes me think about peer pressure, for those who are going to a party and they commit to, okay, I'm not having a drink. And then they go to this party and drinks are just, no, just have a drink, just have a drink. Like, what do you say to that? How do you handle that situation?
The way that you respond is more important than the actual words that you say. So
Mm.
let's do a little example here. Imagine, Samantha, you invite George Clooney, the Hollywood actor, over to your home for some drinks with some friends. You're having a little party, yeah? And George Clooney comes in the door and he's all suave and confident and he's very charming. He's a very nice man. And Samantha, you say to Mr. Clooney, can I get you a drink? What would you like? Would you like beer or wine? And Mr. Clooney says, oh, no, thanks, Samantha. I'm good. Can I grab a soda water? I'd love a soda water or water if you got it, please. Are you, Samantha, really going to say, oh, come on, George Clooney, have a drink? What are you talking about? Just have one. You'll be fine. I would imagine no. I would imagine
No,
you're just going to quickly race off to the fridge and try to find soda water for Mr. Clooney without
for sure.
asking him why he's not drinking,
For
right?
sure. Yep.
However, if George Clooney came to your door and you said, Mr. Clooney, can I get you a drink? Can I get you something? And George Clooney suddenly wasn't confident and charming and he was like, actually, have you got any soda water? Can I just grab some soda water?
Right.
Then maybe you might say, oh, no, I've got wine. You sure you didn't want a beer or wine? You'll be fine. Have a drink.
Right.
So there's two very different energies there, right?
Totally.
So if someone is inviting you to have a drink or encouraging you to have a drink, the two energies you can put on are the confident energy, which is, oh, no, thanks, I'm good. Can I just grab soda water? Or you can do the not so confident and sheepish and almost embarrassed, worrying that they're going to think you're an alcoholic version, which is, no, I'm sorry. Actually, no, I'm not drinking at the moment. Can you give me can I have a soda water? Oh, I'm doing this 30-day challenge. I'm on day 22, just 8 more days to go. Oh, I'm trying really hard. Like, all people care about is that you are having a good time and that
Hmm.
you're comfortable and that they feel comfortable being in your company. The
Right.
moment you start cowering in the corner or retreating from social situations or apologizing for not drinking or feeling embarrassed about not drinking is the moment they're going to encourage you to drink because nobody
100%.
wants a Debbie Downer, right? Least of all the people who are present. Nobody wants to be around you if you're like, I shouldn't drink, like you're having no fun. So I always, when my clients join my Project 90 program, some of them instinctively think that means that they've got to retreat from society for 90 days and hide
Right.
away from home. I'm like, no, 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 no. In this 90-day experience, you're going to run towards parties and bars and restaurants where there's alcohol, and you're going to get experience being alcohol free and loving it and having fun.
Mm, I love that. And, it builds your confidence too, like that conviction that you have in yourself as well. Right. So,